Hello, content creators. Good evening. It's Thursday. Thursday at 7 o'clock, and it's time for the Conscious Creators Toolbox. I'm Janaren, and I don't have my cap on. I guess you're a Michigan fan. Listen, you're listening to Limber. Express yourself. We have no right to the music, Facebook. We're just enjoying the tune. We're just enjoying the tune. Kind of kick off with a little theme for tonight. Anyway, welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. Let me turn this down and get rid of it. Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay. So, tonight is Thursday night, and it is Conscious Creators Toolbox. I'm Janaren, also known as the Conscious Creator, like yourself. And tonight, like every Thursday night, we're here, giving you kind of a chance to check out your creative tools, creative powers, creative abilities. We take a close-up look at those things that make you the creator that you are, the manifestor that you are. So tonight, we're going to be looking at the authentic you. In fact, we're going to be doing that all of November. All of November, we're going to be looking at the authentic yourself, how you go inside and find yourself, and how you relate to each other out here, and some of the things that we really, when we realize that we need to work on certain things, we may do some shadow work and some other little things, talk to a coach, life coach like me, or confer with your other your favorite person, your friends, your buddies, whatever. Somebody's going to give you an honest answer and gonna be in your corner. You be that that mentor for you, or that coach, that cheerleader for you when you're going through doing that work on finding out who you are and being honest with yourself, and realizing that there's a few things you need to kind of be aware of. I'm not going to say you need to fix them, but you may have to. But anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about the shadow. We're going to be talking about shadow work and mirroring and reflections. I know Sunday we kind of kicked it off a little bit. Sunday I kind of gave you five benefits for actually doing that work, for getting to know yourself and getting to be and to live that authentic you. We kind of talked a little bit about that. But before I get into that, I just want to say hello to everybody and ask you how your week has been, what you've been manifesting. I know you've been manifesting something, been creating something, being the creators that you are. I gotta have to remind you that you cannot not create. So you're out there doing something, you're making something happen. You're experiencing something, like co-creating with somebody. You're making something, you're doing something all the time. So hopefully you've created something this past week that was of benefit to yourself and to your community, to your family. Maybe your boss, you make your boss happy, you earn that paycheck, whatever. But you're out there creating, manifesting, and I enjoy getting some feedback every now and then from clients, particularly. They call me in when they have some, they call it praises to pass on. I like to hear any kind of manifestation, anything you manifest, even if it's oops, my bad, and I got to do it over, because then you always learn something when you recognize that that's not exactly what I wanted, and I need to do it a different way. Just remember to do it a different way. Just don't do the same thing over and over again, thinking that you're going to get a different result, because it don't happen. So call me sometime. Drop me a message, shoot me a text message, or email me, call me up. Just tell me what you're making, what you're making happen out there in your world and in your realities and your lives. Hopefully it was a good week. It was a nice day today. I was out walking. I got a chance to walk a little bit in the community, in the neighborhood, and no rain. It was a little chilly when I woke up this morning, so I waited a little while before I got out there. But it was nice kind of getting out and walking in nature. I usually do the treadmill or the bike or whatever, the stationary bike. But I said, you know what, I'm just going to walk the neighborhood today. That was kind of nice. I enjoyed that. Want to shout out to the Interfaith Truth Center on Austell Road in Austell, Georgia, US of A. Want to say hello to my friends and family over there. Let them know that We're still doing the Conscious Creators Toolbox, and we are, doing it. Hopefully, that you're recognizing and understanding and seeing that we are doing it. I want to invite you, if you are in the area, looking for a crystal shop, metaphysical store, gift store, stop in and see them. They're a nice group of volunteers. It is a nonprofit agency organization, spiritual community, as well as a metaphysical store, gift shop. So you can stop in there and get your crystals, minerals, your saging, your smudging, sage and smudging, your smudging, all your products for smudging, candles, all kind of books, tarot cards, oracle cards, just got a little bit of everything in there. Beautiful wall hangings and dream catchers, all those kind of things are there. So stop in, and if nothing, because if you just kind of step in there in the facility, you just kind of get a nice zen kind of feeling. So if you're rushed and crazy out in the world, and you just kind of want to ground yourself and calm down a little bit, then stop in and see the ladies over there, and the gentlemen too, the guys over there sometimes. But I want to let them know that I'm here. I do believe that I'm speaking on Sunday at 11 o'clock. I'm sure they're going to be broadcasted on their Facebook group page, and I'm going to probably get a recording and upload it to our page as well. So watch out for me on Sunday. Don't know what it's going to be all about yet, but if I'm there, I'll be talking about something. Probably something to do with consciousness, awareness, awakened conscious ones. Just talking about who we are as creators. I like to talk about that. So let's see what else I want to tell you. Oh, I want to ask you that if you invite you to actually visit their website at www.interfaith.com. I don't think it's at the center there, interfaith.com. And if you're there, while you're there, just kind of browse around, and if you see a button that says donate, click on that, and if you're so inclined, you can make a donation. It's a non-profit organization, so you can make a tax-deductible donation to them. And if you if you like me, and you want to give me a rah-rah, let them know that you're donating on behalf of Conscious Creators Toolbox, or Conscious Creators, or the 7 at 7 on Sunday, so that they will give me a high five and give me an atta girl when they see me, because I really appreciate being a part of their mission and their vision over there, and I appreciate being a part of that. So I want to make sure that I'm doing my part. I want them to know that I'm doing my part. So stop in, visit their website, visit them. Get on their mailing list, get on their internet and their newsletter. They have a newsletter that comes out once a month, and then also if they're ever having any special events going on, they can let you know what's happening over there as well. But stop in on the website and take a look. And if you'd like to just donate, to Conscious Creators directly, you can do that. It's not exactly nonprofit. I'm not a nonprofit. I'm a life coach for real, for pay. But if you'd like to donate, because what we are trying to do, I will say that we are working on some trying to get our social media platform together, and we want to do some little creative kind of things, and it takes a little bit of money, I think, to create the website and the channel, the YouTube channel that we really trying to create. Takes a little effort, because we're trying to get some moderators to help us out with being a part of the program and the broadcasting that we're planning on doing after the first of the year. So we're trying to build that up. So if you're so inclined, just feel like want to donate to Conscious Creators, you can do that as well. You can do that through PayPal. So I think it's Cash App, Zelle, and Venmo, and all of them are Jean Aaron. I think the only Zelle, I believe, is my email address, and that's what I'll do is I'll post that information on the group page sometimes, and I'll kind of put it up there every now and again if you're so inclined to, and invite you to, consider making a donation to our YouTube channel, our social media platforms. Would appreciate it. let's see what other announcements I have tonight. I want to remind you that I am speaking on Sunday. I said that. 7 to 7 on Sunday. We still have our 7 o'clock on Sunday, our mini life coach session on Sunday. So stop in for that, and make sure that you come back for the other 3 sessions of the authentic you, the authentic self, in November. Kind of visit us every Thursday for that at 7 o'clock. I think that's it. I think that's all the announcements I have. Hello, ITC. Yes. Oh, I did want to say too, if ever we're having a session and you have questions, feel free to you can either put them in comments on the Facebook page, or you can message me. I'm Jean Aaron. You can message me on the Facebook Messenger, or you can email me any questions that you might have, any clarifications or any questions that you might have about any of the sessions that I put. Any sessions that I have, or just any questions that you like to, just general stuff, whatever you want to ask. Feel free to do that. My email address is info@jeanaaron.com. If you want to email me, otherwise you can add the comments on the Facebook page. You can message me, and if you go to our YouTube channel, and you can also make a comment or ask a question on the YouTube channel too. We do monitor that. We're monitoring it, all the time. So we'll grab it and answer you. So welcome, everybody. I see folks are coming in here. Hi, Trina. You're still awake, huh? You're still up, girl. I appreciate your input. I appreciate your interacting with us. I like that. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about the authentic you, and I'm going to make 3 points tonight. I'm going to basically kind of give you a quick overview of what authentic you, what is authentic self. What is that? What am I talking about when I say that? When we talk about that, we also going to try to explain a little bit about why being an authentic person what does that have to do with your creative powers? So we're going to kind of try to relate that to you a little bit, and then we're going to talk about 2 methods or 2 ways that we just because of being and just because of living, we automatically what am I going to say? We use to actually discover who we are and to do that work in finding ourselves. And once we do and begin to understand who we are, we also use those methods to actually relate that information of who we are to the rest of the world and express ourselves and to the world and experience our world through those through who we really are. Once we begin to be aware of our authentic self. Now, let me just kind of say this. All of my conscious creators, if you are a conscious creator and you say that you are awake, you say that you are aware, you say that you are on the road to enlightenment, you are a manifester, I'm a light worker, all those things that you say, if you are conscious, and you are, and you're aware, and you are, then you are developing. If you have not actually consciously and deliberately began your journey into self-discovery and understanding and finding that authentic you, you've done it. You are already. You're awake. You are aware, and you are awake, and you know that you know who you are. You know whose you are, and that in itself would give you what let me know anyway. I'm out here, relating to you and experiencing with you. Let me know that you are, if not feeling 100% authentic, and I don't know if we ever get there 100%, but you're on your road. You're on the road to discovering your authentic self. And once you discover your authentic self, you love it. You're so pleased with that, and you're so at awe with who you really are and understanding that. And you're comfortable with yourself, and you're beginning to embrace yourself, and you're seeing yourself as a whole person rather than bits and pieces and broken parts and things like that. And you see yourself as creation or creator and universe began to look at us and see us in the whole, in the splendor that we are. And you are. So understand that we all are on the road to authenticity, total, complete authentic. We are transforming. We're evolving into those sleepy people that we were when we discovered that, oh my goodness, there is something more about me and my life and about this world and about you and the rest of creation. So when we opened our eyes to that understanding, that's when we began the journey. And I think it was Carl Jung that said that I think I wrote that down too. I did. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And that's something that you may want to kind of mull over in your mind and understand that it is truly a privilege. One of the privileges of life is in the process of being and a process of living that life is to become in that process of living, in that process of being who you truly are. Not who everybody tells you that you are or that you think you are, but who you truly are. So we're going to talk a little bit more this month about who you truly are. And then you can start comparing yourself to who you used to be, who you are now, and you can start mapping out and realizing, the depths of yourself and how, that you're endless, you're infinite, you are limitless. You can start looking and you can start, discovering, but you will discover as you live and as you discover, one thing leads to another, and to another. And you just, it's an ongoing, forevermore, eternal. It's an eternal search. It's an eternal journey. It's an eternal journey. So you're doing that all the time. You're doing that and if you're like me and you live lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes, then every lifetime is a journey. Every lifetime is another part of that journey, another leg of that journey. Every day, every moment is a part of that journey, and every day we're new. We're different. We're evolving. We're different than we were yesterday. I'm not the same person that I was last month. You're not the same person that you were last year. Every day we become new, and we're changing and we're evolving absolutely every day. So tonight, like I said, we're going to talk about the real you. And when I say the real you, and I say what is authentic self means, what's that authentic person? And I mean that person who is truly the true person, regardless of occupation, regardless of influence of others or influence of possessions and property, whatever. It has nothing at all to do with that. It's totally outside of all of those material things, all of those labels, all of those titles, all of those roles that you play. 9 times out of 10, somebody asks you something about you, you're going to tell them something external about yourself. But, I'm not talking about that external stuff. I'm not really even talking about that, your physical makeup, how you look, and how much you weigh, and what color your eyes. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the person, that eternal, authentic person that is just totally outside of opinions of other people, even yourself, outside of what you do for a living. It's that authentic, it's the true you. It's that true raw being, that authentic Jean, that authentic Tom, that authentic Joe, that authentic Jim, that authentic Charlie, that person, Virginia, that true real person. That's who I'm talking about. And and that person is honest. It's an honest representation of who you are. Let me just put it out there too. It's an honest representation, and honest meaning that you are honest about it because it's you. It's you. You are making the assessment, and you are making the expression of who you are, and you are making grasping the understanding, and you're discovering bits and parts of your personality and aspects and traits of your personality and yourself. So you're being honest with that. You're being honest with what you're discovering, and you're being honest with what you're expressing to the world. It's outside of any influence at all. It's regardless of influence of, what family you were born in to do with any of that. And I don't know why my phone is keep ringing because I got it on do not disturb. But anyway, this and it may and to be authentic means really not to even care about what people think about you or their opinion of you, because you are so knowledgeable and you're so aware of who you are that, unless you tell them and express it to them, they won't know. They don't know what you know about you, until you come out and express it. They may have an opinion or or evaluate an experience that they may have with you and come up with an answer, and they may make a comment to you about something about you, and you can look at them and say yay or nay. But you get to say, you get to be the honest representation of who you are, and you express that representation. And to be authentic is to be true to yourself as well. Now, to be true to yourself, and that's something that I think one of our ancestors said. I think it was Shakespeare. That's one of Shakespeare's things. To thine self be true, and I say to thine authentic self be true. And you can be true to the person that, maybe your boss that says you are, that you're that contractor, or, you're that whatever job you are, that manager, she's the manager. Well, no, that's not the authentic me. That's what I do. I'm not what I do. I'm not what I feel. I'm not what I think. I'm more than that. So, and you get to discover that. You get to make that discovery, and you get to express that. And we have to, on the outside, we just mimic, and we, reflect back to you who you are, and in our understanding and the understanding of that experience that you're expressing to us. So that authentic person is that real, honest representation of who you are, and that person who has no concern or no extra concern or excess concern or caring about what other people think. And and also it leads you, it kind of, when you're an authentic person and you're really, really authentic, you kind of stand out in the crowd. Now, I don't mean, some people might say you kind of act kind of strange or a little weird or whatever. They might give you those titles, but you know who you are. So regardless of what they say and how they feel about it, or, whatever label they put on you, those labels don't matter to you, because you know because you've dived in, you've gone in and you've made that discovery. I have to take your word for it, or I have to make my evaluation from the way you express yourself. But you are the person that knows who you are. You're the authority of you. And we have to trust that. I trust it. I promise you, I will trust it. I know I won't call you any weird names or anything. And I might say, oh, he stands out in the crowd. There's something unique about him, or something different about him. I'm not the kind of person that's gonna, snicker and say, he's weird, because, that's what happens to me. So, I don't go there. So anyway, but it means being able to sacrifice, make sacrifices of situations, relationships, circumstances that divert you from your true authentic self. So if it's something or somebody in your life that if I just, they're gonna, they're interfering with me living my truth, with me being my authentic self, then you can sacrifice that. You can sacrifice that relationship. You can walk off those jobs that are not serving your higher good and allowing you to live to your real self. You can walk off those places. You're secure in who you are. You're assured in who you are. You're beginning to see yourself and feel and understand yourself as creation and as God and as Father and as universe, and as the great I am sees you. You know, you're connected to higher power. You're connected to that higher self, and you have come to terms with the real you, and you can live and walk your life and walk out your life in that way without any fear or any apprehension or any concern or over worried about what I'm going to think about it or how I'm going to take it or whatever. If what I say or do or act or in any way that interferes in you being that authentic person, being the authentic person that you are, you will have no part of it. No part of it at all. And you won't, I don't think that you would do it because, you know, you are assured of yourself, and and if you're that sure, you're tapped into the love, into the acceptance, into the compassion, and the understanding. So you're not going to be judgmental of that person. You're just going to let it go. You're just going to lay it aside. You're going to just, here's my resignation. I've got something else on my, on the agenda to do. So nice, I appreciate the opportunity that you gave me, but I'm out of here, and that's okay. And that's the authenticity, and that's the authentic you. That's you can do that because you know you, And I did say you could leave your job, did I think? Okay. When we talked a lot about, like I said, on Sunday, we talked about the authentic self, and I shared 5 benefits for spending time to get to know who that authentic person is, who that authentic you is. And one of those things was you learn about your personality, and that's what we're gonna kind of be. That's what the shadow and the mirroring is going to be talking a little bit about when we talk about that later on tonight and in future sessions. But it gives you an opportunity to learn about your personality. What make you who you are? What are those personality traits that you have that make you either unique or stand out or just make you that kind of on that road to that authentic person. What makes you? That's part of your being authentic. Another one is and you understand what your core values are. Now, if you're authentic, you know what you believe. You understand your beliefs. You're steadfast in your beliefs. You're not somebody that can be easily diverted or distracted from what they believe, or you're steadfast in your beliefs. You understand that core beliefs, and you have them, and they are a definite flagship for you, guiding principle, a guiding light for you. Another number 3 was that you get to know your body, because of course when your body is, like I was saying Sunday, your body's this big antenna, and it's it's receiving information from the atmosphere, and it's also receiving information from our internal those things that are happening inside of us, and it's relaying that information to us, to our minds, to our consciousness, so that we are aware of what's happening in our bodies and happening in and around our environment. So once you start that journey into understanding, into discovering the true you, the authentic you. That's one of the benefits. You'll get to understand, and you'll get to appreciate and see what a marvelous miracle your body is, your physical body is. And the 4th one was you get an opportunity to recall. Well, you spend time understanding and recalling your dreams, and understanding the role that your dreams play in your life, or in your consciousness and your awareness, what roles those are. And dreams have a real role in our subconscious. And I know I was telling Sunday how I'm just beginning to really be able to. Well, I think I'm just beginning to really be bothered with taking time to recall dreams, because being a mom, you wake up in the morning, you're on alert as soon as that light, as soon as the buzzer goes off. So I'm kind of retired now, so I don't have that. I don't have to worry about getting kids to school and, getting, lunches made and, things done. I can just take my time. So I'm appreciating the opportunity to really start recalling dreams and then trying to see how they relate to my life and my consciousness and my what's going on with me. So that's another. And then the fifth thing was you begin to understand your likes and dislikes, your strengths and your weaknesses, and you begin to once you were aware of all of this, you apply it. You can start seeing where you want to apply it in your life. So all of that helps you in your journey and understanding what it is that you're doing. And those are just five. There's many other reasons, benefits to journeying. And one of them is it helps answer the mystery of life. When you start really realizing who you are, truly are, that's part of the mystery of life. You are part of that whole. You are a piece of the fabric of life, and you see where you fit in, and you feel and you begin to understand that you're like real. You think about it, I always thought that I was like, look, like there's a zillion of us and the billion trillions of us all around. It's like one little grain of sand on a beach, but that one little grain of sand is very aware. Creation knows it. Creation understands it. Creation knows that one little grain. Okay, so if they know that one little grain, creation knows one marvelous you. So we begin to understand that nothing in our environment, nothing in our world, nothing in our creation is amiss or don't belong or it's insignificant. And if, like I said, if a grain of sand or a strand of your hair is part of creation, all of it matters to creation. So you begin to recognize how marvelous and what a wonder you are. And that in turn help you understand what a wonder I am and what a wonder your neighbor and your associations are. And you start beginning to really understand and start appreciating nature because you the more you understand and discover who you are authentically, then it's such an awesome understanding. It's such an awesome discovery, and you begin to start connecting the dots, and everything matters. Everything begins to have a different meaning to you, or you look at it in a different perspective, in a different way. Once you start that journey into yourself, because really all of the answers are in us. Everything that we need to know about our environment, about what we create, how we create, is all inside of us. All of the answers are in us. And what we do is we go in and once we make those discoveries of who we are and get the answers, then what we do is we come back out and we relate to the environment, what we understand, how we understand with each other and with nature and with not only living things, but non-thing. I mean, just stuff. We begin to have a better appreciation of our properties and our animals, our pets, and our and our situations and our relationships. Once we really get a grasp of who we truly are, it affects an understanding of our creation, because we created it. This is the reality that we created. So we understand why we do it and how we do it, and we do it on purpose, and we do it with deliberation, and everything begins to take on a different flavor, a different scent, a different sight to us, and it's almost like we wake up one morning and it's like a new world or a new perspective. You just look at things a whole different way, because you have begun to understand who you are and what you are, whose you are, how you fit into this marvelous thing called life, and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel special. It makes you feel stronger. It makes you feel a little bit more courageous. Kind of helps you. It helps dismiss some of the fears and the apprehensions and the worries that you have, because you realize how that you are significant, but you also realize that they are too, that you're no more significant than the other person, but you are all of that and then some, which means that they are all of that and then some too. So how does that be? How does that be? That's part of the mystery. Another thing, something else. What does it have to do with being authentic? What does that have to do with creation or creator or whatever, or manifestation? Well, the the more aware you are of who you are and what you are, the more power you the more you understand the power and the abilities that you have at your command, at your just at your disposal. You understand that, and that makes you a more purposeful and a more aware and a more awakened creator and a manifester. You begin to recognize that, wow, I'm created out of the same stuff that God is created out of. Creation is the creator, and we say that God created all of this, and then like you say, well, God did that. We can do that. We can do that too. So we start beginning to see that the strength in us and that awareness makes us better manifestors, make us more purposeful as manifestors, more effective, more loving, more tapped into our higher self. So what we're doing, we're manifesting not just for our individual good, but we realize that we're manifesting and we're creating for the whole collective, for the world, for life, for life in general, and we understand that we did it. We're the creator. God gave us that power to. We inherited that power, and we're able to create a reality and circumstances and for ourselves, and we can do it deliberately and with a lot more finesse and a lot more purpose and a lot more skill, because we're awakened. The more aware we are, the more awakened we are. The more awakened we are, the more aware we are. The better creators, the more conscious we are of who we are and what we are. So it's a continual, like I said, it's a forever journey that you're on, and absolutely every day, like we were taught when we were growing up, every day you need to learn something, and you need to understand something that you didn't know yesterday. That's how you know you had a good day. It's if you learn something that you didn't know the day before or whatever. That was my grandmother's thing and my mom's thing. So that's how evolution is, and that's how the journey should be. The journey should be, because you're not the same person that you were yesterday. You're not. You're a whole new person basically. So you take that understanding, and you process that, or you go through, you make sure, or you ensure that you have a curiosity, and you have you're curious about life, and you want to be, that you want to know and be better than you were yesterday, and you want to be more self-conscious, you want to be more aware, you want to understand, you want to understand something that you didn't know about yourself, or about the world, about the situations that you're, or the environment that you're living in that you didn't know yesterday. And if you live, you will usually find out something that you didn't know yesterday, because you're forever creating. And when we are creating, we're doing something new. We're doing something different, because we're creating something that wasn't, or we're manifesting something that's not, and we're doing it. So that's new, and that's self-improvement and self-discovery and self-consciousness and self-awareness, and we're doing it every day. So authenticity fosters creativity, basically. And creativity expresses our being real and being authentic. The fact that we create proves that we're authentic. It proves, and when we do it deliberately and with purpose, it's even better. So it's definitely a power to have and to be reckoned with, to be aware of and to live and to be that authentic person. And it makes you a better creator, a better manifester. And understanding who you are, and it helps you also understand who you are, again, being authentic, understanding who you are as an authentic person, living that authentic person, again, it makes you understand your powers and your abilities as a creator, what you have at your disposal. It also leads you to, like I said, I talked about self-discovery and living your truth, and all of this is natural. It's not like you have to sit down and like map it all out. You're living your life living being lends itself to discovering who you are. It lends itself to that, because as you relate to each other and to the environment, that in itself is an opportunity for you to you're expressing who you are. And if it's not, it's not getting the reaction that you want or you need, then, a lot of times we think we need to fix something out here. Well, usually what we need to do is we need to go inside and really look and see how we're perceiving something, or what is our perspective of this, what is our attitude and our behavior and our beliefs about a situation, and then come back out and express it, or flip the switch a little bit to experience it in a different way, in a different perspective, or changing that perspective. So we tend to want to project rather than go in and internalize. Remember that the change that you want starts inside. Even the change that you want to see in me, or the change that you want to see in your pet, or your house, all those things that you want to see changed, it starts with you first. It starts inside you with that desire and that understanding, and then you come out and you make that expression, and you're the change, and things just unfold from that expression of that newfound understanding of yourself as you're expressing it. Just knowing who you are and just knowing who and what you are makes you more confident. That was something else that I kind of mentioned before, that once you know who you are confident. You're not worried about what people say about, and you're not even overly concerned about all the roles that you have to play. You know that they are not you. They're just something that I'm doing. They're, this part of the experience and of the expression of my life and the expression of my existence and my being. I'm just expressing myself through these roles. They're not me. The authentic me is, I don't even know if I can really verbalize it for you, but I can show it to you, and I'm living it. So you live who you are. How do you get to know the authentic? What are some of the ways that you can use to get to know? And that's what we want to talk about. We're going to talk about the shadow and the mirror. And those are two ways that the mirroring, and I know I'm tossing these out real quick, but mirroring and shadowing are two ways that we discover who we are. We do that discovery work through who we are just by association and networking with one another, because both of those, we can't have an experience alone. And somebody said may have one, but it won't last. I don't know about that, but anyway, we can't co-create. We can't create something without somebody else. We can't manifest something without. We need a partner. So shadow work, or shadowing, and mirroring requires that you interact with people. Okay. Now, I'll take that back. Shadowing basically is, you do the internal work, but you come back out and you express it. But the mirroring is where you actually you receive an understanding of who you are or not from everybody else. Everybody that you associate with, everybody that you contact with, that you network with, that you have a relationship with, they reflect back to you who you are. And a lot of times, those little disruptions, or those little spats, or those little disagreements that we have with one another, or those name call, whatever, those fights, those little fights that we have with one another. We tend to think that they're the other person's fault. And if somebody pushes a button, guess what? If somebody pushes a button, or you react, or something happens and you react to it or in your response is a reaction rather than a response, then chances are that they triggered something in you. They triggered something in you, and that's basically mirroring, where you find out a little bit of those things that bother you. And a lot of people, I get upset with him. I get upset with her. They did this. But trust me, if you're upset, then there's something in you that they triggered. So you want to fix it. You can't fix them. You can't. You can tell them not to do it again. But chances are somebody's going to still slip up and do it again. So what that is an opportunity for you to recognize that there's something in me, something about myself, my personality, or some belief that I have, or some part of who I think is the authentic, that is just needs a little attention. Maybe needs a little attention, and that's when you go in and you do that inner work, and that's you get the information, and then you go in and you start working on that. That's what they call shadow work. You start looking at those buttons that people can press that can make you react, and then you want to see what you need to do about it. Try to find the root of it. Try to find the source of it. Try not to run away from it. Don't push it aside, because trust me, it's going to pop up again. If somebody told you that they don't like such and such about you, and trust me, you're going to meet somebody else who's going to probably say the same thing at some point in time. So what you want to do is you want to find out why that bothers you, rather than trying to get them to back off, or give them half your mind, or stuff that you probably shouldn't give them. You want to go in, you want to do that internal work, and you want to go in and find out why does that bother me? Why does it make me upset? Like me, for instance, with me, I do not. I just will fly off the handle. I used to, but I'm much better now because I'm aware of it. I would fly off the handle when people would jump off. Like we're on a team, and this is my job, and that's your job, and all of a sudden you're over here doing mine, and I would just get furious. I would just blow my stack and get all upset. Well, I discovered that I had this little thing. Something happened in my past, or whatever, that people disrespected me. I felt disrespected when people would, take jobs away from me, or assign something to me, and oh, you're too slow, and just take it away and do it. So I had this complex. So it took me a while to figure out that it's not them, it's me, and I just need to I need to figure out how to deal with that issue that I have with feeling like people disrespecting me. And I eventually did. I got to a point where I don't curse anybody out, or, slam the stuff down and say, I'm out of here. I don't do that anymore. I just, I can work it out. So when you figure out, when you can really stop and realize the triggers and do something about it, that is part of that shadow work that you're doing. And the mirroring is that they triggered you. They pressed that button. And I really want you to really stop and think about all, when the next time someone upsets you, or some situation comes up and upsets you, take some time and try to reverse it. I don't want to say blame yourself, but don't blame that person. Stop and try to just evaluate it, and go back and reassess, and try to recall why you feel that way, and what's the real reason? What's the real reason that it's bothering you? Because it's not that person. It's just it's that situation. So what is it about that situation that that is a tender spot for you? Because you want, if you don't acknowledge it and recognizing it as the first thing, because sometimes once you name something or you recognize something, it's almost half the battle is done. So, and then next time it happens, I know, that's, you're in my lane again. That's okay. Gotta be cool. Can you step out? You're in my lane. Thank you very much. And it's cool and we're good. So I don't have to, slam them things down and, storm off anymore. But that's mirroring. Mirroring is, people reflect back to you who you are. You think you go inside, you do the work, and you come out and you start, interacting and having these relationships, and then you find out, oh my, oh wow, he's just awful, or she's just terrible. I don't like this about them, and I don't like that about them. And if you make a list of those things that you don't like about this person or that person, you take a look at it and you sit down and you are honest with yourself, because you're honestly trying to be that authentic person, and you got to be honest with yourself to be that person. If you sit down and you look at that list, it's not them. It's usually not them. It is your reaction to something that they triggered in you. So once you figure out that, you get rid of that trigger, or you kind of be aware of that trigger, and you know what to do with it. You know how to respond rather than react in the event that it happens again. Because I know why that happened. Like when I was 12 years old, got something. My dad took my bicycle away, or he promised me this and whatever, and I've got this raw spot in me about that. So you just get to know, just get to know yourself through your relationships with people, your relationships with your family, your friends, your network of associations. Because like I said before, like I want to keep reminding you, is change starts inside of you. You can avoid the person, but you're not really changing anything. You're just delaying it for somebody else to come along that, to do the same thing that you're just, you avoided that person, and you can avoid the next person, and pretty soon you isolate yourself from everybody, rather than dealing with that internal work and fixing and working on those triggers for yourself, so that you can relate comfortably and respond comfortably and rather than react to each other. So mirroring, and I think I have this here. Can I bring that? Yeah. Mirroring, everyone is your mirror, and actually I kind of like the idea of it being a part of a relationship, and it's something that it's really a smart thing to understand that mirroring is a part of absolutely all of your relationships. So you can gauge who you are and how you are from how you relate to folk in your life, in your relationships. So remember that when you are relating and you have those issues with the other person, and I'm going to say, yeah, eternalize it first, and don't, we tend to want to blame the other person and not ourselves. And I'm not even saying blame yourself. I'm just saying, if something bothers you, instead of blaming them first thing, wonder, why did that bother me? Why does that bother me? Okay, and stop before you let that be a response. If you, rather than reacting, why does that bother me? Why is that bothering me? And ask yourself that, and then eventually go into do that internal work, and find out why. And next time it happens, you'll be ready for it, and you won't react the same way. Absolutely every relationship is there for that reason, to reflect back to you, so you can get to know you better. That's how you get to know who you are. Shadow work is a little bit. That's part of that shadow. The shadow work itself is a little bit different, because somebody asked me the other day, what is shadow work? And shadow work is working on that part of you that's, like, we call it the dark. We call it the dark part, and it's not. I don't want to say dark meaning bad. I'm just saying dark meaning the opposite of happy would be angry, or the opposite of feeling good might be worry or something. So anything that's a slow vibration, I'm going to put it there. So the vibration is a little bit slower, then that would be probably a little dark. You know, you get angry, or you get worried or fretful about something. So that's the shadow, the shadow, the dark. And shadows are darker than the light. But the shadow, it's actually a psychological term, and I think I'm thinking it was Jung that, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was him that kind of developed this whole shadow thing, concept about shadow, and shadow is it's basically, well, it kind of talks about the opposite of the things that you feel good about yourself about. Okay, the things that you're willing to admit that, yeah, I do, or you're not so willing to admit, talk about the things that make you mad, or the things that get you down, or the stuff that you might consider bad. But I don't call it bad. It's called a part of you. All of it, the dark is a part of you, just like the light is a part of you. That great stuff that you just, you rah about is a part. It's just as it's equally a part of you as the part that you don't want anybody to know about. So the dark stuff, I'm going to say, is those things that you're not too proud of, or you don't want to. You kind of like they're in this invisible suitcase that's tied to your leg that you drag around with you, and nobody really knows it's there, but you until it exposes itself from your bag, your invisible bag, and it happens. It does happen. But what the shadow work is, and that's pretty much the same way you do it when you're going into, when you're looking at the reflection, and you're internal, going back in and taking a look at and finding out why you feel that way. Shadow is the same way. You want to, you don't, it's not a very good idea, because you're never going to get rid of it. Okay, you're never going to get rid of. It's going to be in your subconscious and in part of you forever. And when you think about where it started, it's usually shadows start. The shadows start when you're a baby, you come here. Everything is okay, and you're just the cutest thing, and you can just do all kind of terrible, and not terrible thing, all kind of dark things, and for a little bit, mom and dad and sisters and brothers think that's cute, and they laugh, and then you grow up, and then you go to school, and you do some of those cute little things in school, and your teacher tells you that you're being silly, and she embarrasses you in front of the class. Well, guess what? That sticks with you, and all of a sudden now, you get that feeling, that angry feeling, or that hurt feeling, and that behavior that you did, that is no longer cute and acceptable, and now it's part of your stuff that you put in that invisible bag, because society and your community and your friends all let you know that that's just not acceptable. So the dark stuff is stuff that we eventually learn in culturation and being enculturated, that they're not acceptable by society. But we kind of got comfortable with doing them, and we did them for a while until we were embarrassed, or somebody slept our fingers, or we had to pay a fine or whatever, and then we had to realize that they're very much a part of me, because I got a habit of doing them, and they're part of my who I am. But I don't want anybody to know about them, so I'm going to hide them. And every now and then they pop their little head out, and they cause some havoc in your world and in your life, and you got to deal with that, or you got to hide it, or you got to figure out that I got to get rid of it. Honestly, you can't get rid of it. The best thing you can do about a shadow is to acknowledge it. It's like your ego. You can't do without your ego, right? And your ego can get on your last nerve, I know. But you can't do without that ego. So just like ego, you just acknowledge that you have this shadow, this no thing about me. But it's okay, because it's a part of me. And I don't have to hide it. I don't have to put it in an invisible bag or whatever. And in fact, I'm authentic, and I'm comfortable, so I can tell you that I do that. I did that. That happened to me, and that's part of who I am. That's part of the authentic me, because it's always going to be a part of me that happened to me back in whatever, 1956 or 72 or whatever. But yeah, so yeah, that was me. That was me back then. Yep, that was who I am. And it's okay. It's okay because you know that that's part of, you've acknowledged the shadow. You haven't lied about it or continued to hide it in your invisible suitcase. You're okay. If it comes up, you recognize it and you deal with it and you let it go, and it's okay. And if anybody has a problem with it, that's them. That's their problem, but it's not yours. So and they're not gonna make you feel guilty about it. They're not gonna make you feel bad about it. That's just part of who I am. I control it as best I can when I can, but sometimes it rears its little head out because it's part of me. So I deal with it and I go on, but it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna ruin the day, is it? And you try to make people comfortable, but if they don't, then you do the best you can. So shadow work and understanding that you use each other to reflect the behavior back to yourself is two ways that you just automatically, just naturally work on understanding and expressing and demonstrating and living out that authentic person that you discover that you are, and that you continue because you're going to always have relationships, so you're going to always have the opportunity to use the reflection and the mirroring to discover more and more about yourself. And if you're honest about it and you do something about it rather than hide it away or tuck it away in your invisible suitcase, thinking that nobody's going to see it, but it's going to pop out. So you deal with it and you handle it and you acknowledge it and you embrace it, and it's okay because it's part of who you are. It's not something that I'm going to hide away. So shadow work and reflections, we do it. And try to do it deliberately and do it with purpose and do it with understanding. I'm going to invite you. There's a book that I kind of suggested, and it's called Real. And I love this lady. She's Claire Demond. It's called Real: The Inside Guide to Being Yourself. It's a really quick read. It's about 150 pages. It's real good, but it's a good It's a good resource because it tells you about. It helps you understand who you are, and it also help you with some of the. I think I gave you a list of questions. It kind of help you go through and answer some of those questions that I gave you. I think it was 8 questions that I gave you. But it talks about who you are, how who you're not. How you relate. It talks a little about mirroring and shadowing. Not too terribly much about those things, but it does kind of talk a little bit about it. So I suggest that you read that. And it's nice chapters. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can just go look at the table of content and you're working on a certain area or something came up, might be a great reference for you. That book I would suggest. It's a great book. And also, the cutest little movie, Inside Out. That's the cutest movie. If you've never seen it, you got to see it. And watch it with your kids because they'll love it. And they'll probably help you understand it. It's actually a movie about your feelings. A little cartoon, a little, all the little feelings, the little red anger running around looking like a little devil. So it kind of talks about how this little girl kind of developed an understanding of her feelings and how they operated in and around her life and in situations for her. So you get to understand too a little bit about your body and it's cute. It's cute and it's very, very understandable, and it makes sense when you kind of go through it. It's about an hour, but it's really cute movie for the family to watch, especially with COVID. I think you can get it on YouTube or Netflix or one of those HBO. But anyway, those are 2 resources that I think that would be fun and you would enjoy. It would be a nice resource for you as you as we go through the sessions and as you start that journey, that deliberate and purposeful journey into discovering the authentic you, who you are, what you are, and whose you are. And remember, you are an infinite, unlimited, creative being created by the Creator, created out of the same stuff that Creator is created out of, and you can do, and you have the same powers. You've inherited all of the powers that Creator has. So you're not without You're not an orphan without any powers. You are created in all the powers. And I want to just kind of make something, because I don't know if I make this clear. I want to make it very interesting. You are not separated from God at all. You and God are one. And if I ever talk or speak or make it sound like I'm speaking about an external God, I'm not. I'm not talking about an external God at all. I'm talking about that God that you stay connected to, that sustains you, that upholds you, that it's your breath, the breath that you breathe, the air that you're suspended in. God sustains us. That is creation. That's who you are, and that's whose you are. So though you're not, you're one. You're one with God always. Never ever are you alone. You are. You're connected at all times. Whether you understand that or not, God knows. God knows, because God's holding us up, and God is. And I don't know why I want to say God is He. I can want to say she sometimes. God. But anyway, you get my point. So take advantage. I think of. If you can, take advantage of the book. I really like it. If you can grab it on Amazon, or I think it's an Audible book too, so that you can, if you don't want to read it, you can hear it. But it's about 150 pages. It's not very long at all. Just real short little read, and a lot of helpful information. And the movie is cute. You will love the movie if you take some time to watch that. Inside Out. That is it for tonight. Next week we're gonna probably continue. We're gonna probably go a little bit more into the shadow. Because I want to kind of share a little bit more about, where it all starts, how we even get to the place where we have a shadow, and why we have a shadow. I want to kind of talk about why we have a shadow, and a little bit more about how to do that, how to start that shadow work, and because you're doing it, you're automatically doing it, or you're automatically wishing that you could do it, or trying to figure out, why am I doing this? So I'm going to give you some things that you can start, so you can actually start doing that work now, because you have the opportunity. Situation presents itself absolutely every day, and something will present itself for an opportunity for you to at least acknowledge some of the shadow that may need some of your attention. Okay, just make our life, we're transforming. It makes our life, that transformation, that journey, a lot more enjoyable and understandable, and you'll appreciate it. Anyway, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the weekend coming up. Please join me on Sunday for 7 at 7 on Sunday, your mini life coach lesson session. And I think I'm speaking on Sunday, so I'll upload it to the Facebook page or the YouTube channel, so that you can hear the message from Sunday. Anyway, have a great weekend, and I will see you when I see you. Manifest best, and remember, what is it that Jung said? He said, what did he say? I like this one. He said, if the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, and that truly are is the authentic you that you're diving into discovering. Happy discovery, and I will see you guys next week. Take care.